Welcome back to the CRWC. We are getting ready for our second match in our doubleheader. It is a men's contest between your Durham Lords and the visiting George Brown Huskies. John Lodge here and Joey Chapman. We've got the call for you. We have had a little bit of delay here to start the game, or before the game anyway. We had a mesh problem, and it took about 4 guys to put that mesh up properly. So it was a little bit of an entertainment for myself and Joey, but we're ready to get underway here as the ref brings the ball into center court.
How many monkeys does it take to hang a mesh net, John?
About 4, I guess.
Apparently.
Yeah, I don't know how much our colleagues would like us calling them monkeys, but you know.
Our fearless leader, Chris Cameron, couldn't figure it out either. Had to enlist the always helpful referees, who found a way to only in 20 minutes put the net up as he was slow and steady with it. And just kind of a damper to start this game, John. I've been pretty excited about this game all day long with 2 good teams going at it here tonight.
6-1 Lords, 7-1 Huskies, and the Lords are facing a team that's ahead of them in the standings as Trey Lawson moves the ball up the court. Starters for the George Brown Huskies today: Alex Petronis, Tayshawn Gale, Adam Costanzo, DJ James, and Justin Bangu, as the Lords take an early lead with a 3-pointer, and George Brown moves the ball up the court.
Yeah, DeAndre Huggins looking strong there, John. Makes that 3 look easy as he clanks it in for the first points of the game. Yeah,
key player there for the Lords is Huggins. When he's hot, they're hot, and they're almost unstoppable. Starters for your Durham Lords: number 2, Trey Lawson; number 10, Brandon Halliburton; big man number 15, Funcho Demeji; number 21, Julian Hinkson Jr., and of course the aforementioned number 24, DeAndre Huggins. Just as I say that, Brandon Halliburton with another huge 3-ball, and the Lords look like they're ready to go, Joey.
Back-to-back threes to start this game. Huggins and Lawson, or Halliburton, excuse me, and Brandon Halliburton's a lot of fun to watch play basketball, John. The way he moves the ball up and down the court, everything he can do from the point guard position, he really is the straw that stirs the drink. And the backcourt, along with him and Trey Lawson, is a definite strength for this Lords team. And Halliburton comes out throwing a dagger as he starts this game with a 3.
Nice defense there by the Lords as they got the rebound. Julian Hinkson Jr. got the rebound there. A little bit of sloppy play, though, coming into the front court. Ball thrown away there as Huggins was unable to reach that one, as George Brown works back up the court again. Another missed shot here by the George Brown Huskies. That's a little bit out of character for them. And if the Lords can come up with a big early lead, as Lawson with the 3-ball there, uncontested. Demeji with the huge rebound underneath the net, looking for the 2, unable to get it, and George Brown's back heading up the court. George Brown, Alex Petronis with a nice layup there, moving inside on Durham, and Lawson's heading back up the court with the ball, looking to set up a play here.
It was a nice possession there for the Huskies, John. They get the ball underneath on the rebound and come back and score. Halliburton
again with the huge 3-ball here. The Lords have made 3 shots, and all of them are for 3 points, Joey.
Brandon Halliburton, strokes looking good here early so far tonight as they forced the Huskies to call their first timeout, John. Certainly that delay did not seem to bother Halliburton, as all of a sudden 2 for 2 from 3, and daggers, John, both nothing but net. Brandon Halliburton seems to be feeling it here early on.
Yeah, this is going to be a 3-point contest for the Lords. If they're going to be shooting up the 3-ball as much as they are right now, this is going to become a huge lead, and it's going to quickly get out of hand. And I think that's why the Huskies took that early timeout, Joey.
Big game here for both teams, John. Coming into this game, it is the 5 and 6 team, respectively, ranked in the province. George Brown ranked at 5, Durham ranked at 6. The Lords have been ranked 6 all season long for the Huskies after a very strong 19-1 year last season. They are off to a very strong start, as you mentioned, John, at 7-1, I believe, coming into tonight's game. They did start 3rd overall on the season. They've fallen to 5th with that loss to Seneca in their last start. And for the Lords, a real opportunity to leapfrog a team ahead of them in the OCAA rankings and find themselves inside the top 5 in the province.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic for the Lords, as George Brown now inbounds the ball off the timeout. As we have not a substitution. DJ James is moving the ball up court outside to Adam Costanzo, but we have an offensive foul as it's the Lord's ball And DeMeggi will inbound to Lawson.
Scoring really not a problem for the Lords all season long, Johnny. 4 times this year they've been able to pass the 100-point mark, and those 4 times have come in a row as the Lords come into this game hot, riding a 4-game win streak, putting up 100 in each of those wins.
Yeah, man, the Lords have been doing outstanding. After only having 10 wins on the year last year, they're an exciting team to watch, and they're definitely going to be competitive all year round. As Halliburton puts up another shot, he's 3 for 3, 2 from distance, and he's got 8 points to start this contest, Joey.
Adam Costanzo all over him there with coverage, 6'5", doesn't matter. Halliburton steps up and pulls back and makes the easy jumper for 2. So he's got 8 early on inside the first 3 minutes, John.
As DJ Jones puts up the contested shot for 2 and gets just a second bucket for the Huskies. Lawson looking up court. He's looking to find Halliburton. Halliburton's moving all around, but he's guarded sticky there by Petronis as Huggins now has the ball. Huggins inside to DeMeggi. DeMeggi looking to make a move. Steps back for 2. A little bit too strong there. That's not quite his game, Joey, shooting the mid-range jumpers. He's a paint sort of a player. As the Huskies put up a 3-ball there. Poor shot. Lawson with the rebound.
Yeah, DeMeggi's a guy you want in the rim, going up for shots and fighting for rebounds, John, but Funcho is not afraid to do anything out on the court, and he'll let you know it. He's a very confident man in his abilities, and it doesn't shock me at all to see him taking shots like that. But you're right, Funcho DeMeggi, a physical force at the rim, and that's really his bread and butter.
The Lords look like they're going, yeah, it's going to be out of bounds, the baseline here. Oh, no, it's
going to be a foul, I believe, a foul shot for the Huskies. That's where
which is strange
weird.
Because they're not shooting in that direction.
Well, then I guess I'm wrong, Johnny. I just saw.
Yeah, he was just faking everybody out.
There looking like he was going to take the free throw, but obviously you're right. They're going the other way here, and I guess it's going to be a Lord's throw-in as DeMeggi gets the ball.
DeMeggi into Hinkson Jr., who gets it up top to Lawson, back to Hinkson Jr., looking to make a move inside, and he does with a beautiful layup there, able to get underneath the defender and get it off glass and in. It's 13-4 for the Lords, who have a 9-point lead.
Nice play there under the backs by Hinkson Jr., using all of 6'5" to use his body and kiss that one off the glass and in.
Tayshawn Gale looking to make a move inside, gets his own rebound and puts it back up and in for the Huskies' 3rd basket. All for 2 right now. It's 13-6 for the Durham Lords. Halliburton looks to make a move, and he throws it off the rim. Bad bounce there as it bounced right out of bounds.
Yeah, first mistake of the game by Halliburton. Looked like he was trying to make a pass, but the rim got in the way, and that's going to bounce right off the rim and out of bounds for a Husky throw-in deep in their own zone. End, not zone, as this is the basketball. As I try and get my color.
Costanzo inbounds. And it's a poor 3-point shot there by the Huskies as Huggins has collected the rebound, plays it back to Halliburton, and they move up court. Halliburton looking to call a play here. So he gets it over to Huggins. Huggins moves it over to Lawson, who was looking for the 3-pointer, unable to get it. Inside to Hinkson Jr. for the 2. The Lords are a well-oiled machine tonight, Joey.
For sure, John, and that just shows what the Lords beauty offensively. They got Hinkson Jr. and Funcho DeMeggi down low, 2 big bodies, big physical guys. Trey Lawson and Brandon Halliburton in the backcourt who can shoot and pass. And then you got Dondre Huggins, who's just an excellent 3-point shooter, has the range for days. And all of a sudden, you got 5 guys on the court in the starting 5 for the Lords that can do it all and can play any type of basketball that you want. The Lords throwing themselves into this game and throwing their will onto the Huskies here early as they jump out to a 15-6 lead early on.
Air ball there by Alex Petronis for 3, so he put way too much on that one. And Lawson is moving up court, gets it to Funcho DeMeggi, who looks to make his move inside. He does, and no foul called there as DeMeggi hits the court hard. Can't be happy with that call, or that no call.
Coming into this game, John, and that certainly looked like he made contact, but Chowdhury says no, and so does the official. The Huskies come back up the court here.
Fields moves it, Petronis has it. He's looking around, Tries to get it inside, but Halliburton with a nice steal there. Tries to split the defenders, gets it up with the finger roll and puts it in. Halliburton's on fire, Joey.
That's real impressive by Brendan Halliburton. Makes the defensive play, splits the defenders. Probably could have got a foul call there and gets the little lay-in to go despite the contact in the paint.
Fields looks for James as James moves it around, gets it to DJ James. So James to James on that one. Back to James. I sound like I'm repeating myself, but I swear I'm not, as the Huskies get it up just in time before the shot clock violation, and all of their shots are for two, and the Lords are looking to stretch this lead as Halliburton moves it up, moves it inside to Hinkson Jr., who bodies up, makes his move, tries to get the shot off, but he is fouled, and he will go to the line to shoot two.
Yeah, it's going to be Jordan James there with the foul, John, as Hinkson Jr. just too much in the paint, and he was trying to play good defensively. There was James, Jordan James that is, but Hinkson Jr. just too much and going to get himself a shot at two here as the first foul, or the third foul, excuse me, called on the Huskies as the Lords try and get them in early foul trouble here.
Maddie Dender getting her photography skills on as she walks up to sit down and watch this game.
Maddie Dender, one of the stars of the Lords women's basketball team, John. We saw her have a valiant performance in a comeback loss for the Lords. They had a real good opportunity in the first game to destroy a 30-point.
Hinkson Jr. looked to get the slam dunk on the rebound, unable to do so as Halliburton fouls. We'll see who it is here. Fouls DJ James, and James will shoot two. It's the Lords' first foul of the quarter. It's 18-8 for Durham. They've opened up a 10-point lead in this one.
Yeah, John, and not surprising, it's Brandon Halliburton who's just involved all over the court in every phase of the game for the Lords. He's going to play here a lot. Just to finish my point, the Lords women played a very good game trying to take on the Huskies, a very good team in the women's division. They had a big comeback but fell short, but Maddie Dender, definitely a name to watch as she continues to impress from beyond the arc in the women's games.
Yeah, not many players you see go down go down in the first quarter, yuck up their guts, and then come back and have a great performance like she did. As Halliburton with the ball again, and he looked to get Charles Bennett the ball, but Bennett had moved out of position and the ball flew out of bounds. It's Huskies ball, side out, as Jordan James inbounds it to DJ James. Another James to James connection on that one. Halliburton looking to guard DJ. Petronas with the ball, gets it over to Chris Fields, gets it inside to Jordan James, and with the nice little sky hook there, a shot we don't see too often in this league.
Yeah, Tyler Henry coming on off the bench, trying to play defense there at 6'4". He's kind of lanky, but he gets up there and he does a good job, but unfortunately for him, the Husky player just finds a way to get it to go.
It's a poor pass there by the Lords, but a recovery, and it seems like Halliburton was fouled as he had possession of the ball. Fouled by Jordan James. It's the second foul for Jordan and the third team foul, or fourth team foul, yeah. Sorry. So the Lords could find themselves in the bonus.
That's not what George Brown needs. The Lords have been shooting, and they seem to be on here as this game started.
Huggins looked to pass it as Funcho Demeji comes inside, and I was just about to say the Lords with a 7-point lead. It's now a 9-point lead, and Demeji really with nothing to call or no part of it, and he comes in as I stumble over my words and gets a quick 2 points there. Offensive foul called on Jordan James. The coach is going to have to get him out because that's his third foul of the game.
Yeah, and Demeji doing it all, John. He makes the nice play offensively down at the Huskies end of the court, and then defensively he takes the offensive foul by the Huskies.
As the George Brown Huskies coach, Jonathan Smith, just got teed up for yelling at the referees. That's the 5th team foul on Jordan James, and should be 2 shots for Demeji. It will be at least 1 shot for Huggins as he goes to shoot the technical free throw.
Yeah, not bad at all for the Lords, John. Got the Huskies frustrated here early. Coming into this game, John, the Huskies had lost only 1 game. That loss a 93-82 loss at home against Seneca on the 17th last Friday, as they went 19-1 last year, 7-1 this season. They started the year on a 7-game win streak, lost last game and find themselves down by 9 here early. Some of that frustration boiling over on that technical from Coach Smith.
Lawson looks to move the ball up court here, guarded heavy. Gets the ball up with the finger roll. Beautiful play there by Trey Lawson. No call on the play, though.
That was really nice by Trey Lawson, getting the fingertip roll to go as he's on the ground underneath the basket.
DJ James moves inside, looks to get the basket. Huggins with the rebound, and Lawson is moving back up court. If I'm the Lords, I get this ball inside and try and get to the line as much as I possibly can. Just as I say that, Lawson tries to make a move in, and he's guarded by Petronas, pushed back outside of the three-point line. Looking to make a play inside to Demeji. Demeji bodies up. DJ James goes for the two, unable to make it. It seems like
you wanted the foul there.
Yeah, it seems like Demeji's having a hard time getting in the paint here, as Petronas with the three, no good, rim out, and Demeji with the rebound. Gets it over to Lawson as the Lords move it back up court. Lawson guarded by Chris Fields, who has been playing good defense on Lawson. Demeji with the ball, moves inside, uses the body, and he's been forced with those mid-range jump shots, Joey.
Yeah, Chaudhry doing a good job there defensively on him. Doesn't give up any space underneath the basket.
Huge block. Sorry to
no, it's okay, Johnny.
Sorry to interrupt you, but huge block there. They're going to call the foul, though, Joey.
Yeah, that's going to be a foul against the Lords, John.
And back to your thought there.
No, it's okay. Yeah, it's just I've been pretty impressed by the defense of Chaudhry so far here tonight. He came into this game off the bench and has done a good job to Demeji. And I think that's going to be a real key for teams going forward throughout the season, is not letting Funcho dunk or get real close to the basket. If you can force him to take those 10 to 15 foot shots, that's where he's probably going to be least effective. You're not going to see Funcho shoot from three. He's going to leave that up to Halliburton and Lawson and Huggins and guys like that. But Funcho real effective down low, and making him take those 10, 15 foot shots is one way to stop him. And Chaudhry's done a good job here so far, but I would not count Funcho out the rest of this game.
No, he will definitely find a way to be effective in this game no matter what. He's just that kind of player. Lawson gets fouled, and he'll go to the line. It's a non-shooting foul, but we're in the bonus, so we're going to the line for every foul for the next 50.8 seconds.
And Trey Lawson good from the free throw line, John. Coming into this game, Lawson was 63% from the free throw line. Not many attempts, because he's only had 18 all season long, but he's always there, and the backcourt of him and Halliburton is going to be dangerous. Halliburton taking the first rest. It won't be surprising to see him come back on and Lawson come out probably at the beginning of the second quarter.
As Lawson makes both those, and it's an 11-point lead for the Durham Lords, 24-13. And they're doing exactly the opposite of what the women did. They're pushing the pressure here on the Huskies, and they're forcing the Huskies out of their game plan. As it looks like we have a foul called, offensive foul on the Huskies.
As
Tayshawn Gale with the foul there.
Sorry, Danso is checking in for the Lords, number 54, coming out for Demeji here.
Demeji just maybe getting a breather,
Yeah,
giving the Huskies a different look there, and you try and not that you can really slip him and sneak him in there, but you definitely try your best to do that.
No, Funcho doesn't sneak around.
The Huskies move the ball. Trey Lawson with a nice steal there. Looks to move the ball back up the court. He's guarded heavily there by Chris Fields. Gets the screen by Emizio Danzo, and I probably butchered that name. Lawson with the long three attempt, back rim and out, but the rebound and another three attempt, unable to get it. 24-13 at the first quarter break for the Durham Lords on the back of Trey Lawson, DeAndre Huggins, and of course, Brandon Halliburton, Joey.
Could be a tale of two coaching staffs as we take a 2-minute break here in the first quarter break here, Johnny. For the Lords, Desmond Rowley going to be real happy with how his team started. Coming out on fire, back-to-back threes from Huggins and Halliburton to start this game, and the Lords really haven't looked back. For Jonathan Smith, certainly not going to be happy with how his team played in this quarter. Only scoring 13 while allowing 24. The Lords were able to be dominant and do what they wanted to offensively, especially through the first half of the quarter. And looking at it, it's pretty interesting as what Coach Smith has done. I was looking at the stats from their last game, John, their loss at Seneca, or at home to Seneca. Alex Petronas put up 30 points playing all 40 minutes of that game. We saw him on the bench to start, or to end that first quarter after a pretty cold first, where he certainly was not on a 30-point pace. And going forward, it's going to be interesting to see what the Huskies do here. Petronas, their #1 player, their most points per game, and certainly a guy who's dangerous. But we saw him miss a wide open look before he came off the court, as the Lords really want to build on what they did and keep the pressure on these Huskies, as they may be a little frazzled. They've only lost one game all year, but now they've been losing 5 straight quarters, and see if that's going to wear on them moving forward here in this second. For the Lords, I think, though, John, a lot of the same. Keep up the good work, take the shots that they're allowing you, and if Brandon Halliburton can stay hot, it could be a long night for the Huskies.
Nice steal there again by Trey Lawson as they move back up the court, and I completely agree with you. Halliburton averaging 25 points a contest as Huggins deep in the well there for a deep 3-ball, his second of the game, and the Lords are looking to shoot the lights out from distance as Halliburton's made his way back in this game, Joey.
Yeah. Halliburton just coming out for a quick rest to end that first quarter. He certainly plays a lot for the Lords.
Tyler Henry with the nice defense there, not letting the easy point go in. Lawson moves the ball back up court. The Lords are looking to extend this lead. DeMeji with the nice screen. Lawson wide open for 3, and he drains it. The Lords are perfect from 3-point range tonight, Joey. Just a fantastic effort so far.
Yeah, certainly an excellent shooting performance here by the Lords, and that's a couple different guys stepping up and making threes.
As the Huskies move it inside for the 2, and that was Adam Costanzo. And that seems to be all that the Lords are giving the George Brown Huskies, are those 2 balls. And if you're trading 2s for 3s, then that lead is going to stretch really quickly, especially if you're not making every contest or every shot, as Huggins misses the first attempt from 3-point range for the Lords, and the Huskies move it back up court. It's Chris Fields with the ball. He gets it over to number 1, is it? Number 7, sorry. That looked like a 1 to me.
It does look like a 1 with it tucked in like that, trying to confuse you, Johnny.
Yeah, that was Gale with the 3, but he missed it, and it'll be Funcho DeMeji inbounding it to probably Brandon Halliburton. It seems like
yeah, Halliburton or Lawson.
Seems like Lawson is a little far away for the inbounds, but yeah, those are your 2 primary ball handlers, and those are the 2 guys who are shooting the lights out for the Lords. As Halliburton has the ball, he's guarded there by Fields. Gets it over to Lawson, who lost the ball momentarily but has it back. And I believe that is a 3 in the key. No, it's a hold.
That's going to be a hold against the Huskies, John, and the Lords are going to come up to the line for the first time in this
No, it'll
quarter.
be a side out of bounds.
Oh.
No shot on that one. Foul's reset, so the Huskies do get their first foul, and it's with 8 minutes left. Hopefully the Lords can get them in foul trouble before the 50-second mark of the second quarter and get to the line a lot. The Lords have now doubled the Huskies. It's 30-15, a 15-point lead for Durham, and they're looking fantastic. They're looking like the 6-1 team that they've proven to be, and man, what an improvement from a 10-10 year last year.
Yeah, for sure, John. And you can't step off the gas of this very explosive Huskies offense and the team that's been so good all season long, but you can't ask for a better start to this game if you're a Lord fan, coach, player, doubling up your visitors at home a quarter and 2 minutes into this game.
As Lawson inbounds the ball to Halliburton. Lawson moves the ball up court, guarded by Petronas. Gets it over to Huggins. Huggins looking around. We have another hold call. And it looks like it's an offensive foul here, as it'll be a turnover. Nope.
It is going to be the foul, John, coming in.
Foul on the Huskies.
And Halliburton's going to shoot too, which, as always, favorable odds for the Lords. Coming into this game, the Lords have the highest points for in the Eastern Division of the OCAA with 697 points in 7 games played.
As our boy Zach there was just banging on the door, I had to leave for a second
so he was banging on the door.
So we could get the first quarter stats.
Forgot we asked for stats. Sorry, Zach.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. Was a little busy.
Say hi to the people? No, they know you. You're a legend. We always talk about it.
Yeah, we're always talking about Zach, the stats man. The only thing bad about him is he's a Canadians fan. So anyway, back to the game as Lawson has the ball. He's looking around. Tries to make a move inside, decides to pull up and shoot a 3, and Lawson drains it from distance again. Trey Lawson drains that one from Whitby, guys.
Trey Lawson continues his strong play.
Petronas moves it inside.
Interesting when you look at it, Lawson 0 for 2 from beyond the arc in the first quarter, John. I think it was a couple too late threes that he tried to put up. He didn't make it, but he certainly turned it around with the threes in this quarter. And then Huggins just misses one there.
Yeah, Huggins there with the nice attempt. And you know what? He's a volume shooter, Huggins is. So he'll take those couple misses just so long as he makes more than he misses, man.
For sure. In the first half, Huggins only shot 3 times as he went, or once, excuse me, only had the 1 shot, and it was that first shot 3 as he felt it right away getting into this game. A big stat coming off that first quarter, John, is just points off of turnovers, which we saw was a big factor in the women's game before this. Durham has 10 points off of turnovers, while George Brown only has 2. And if you look at the score right now with the Lords leading 35-19, those 10 points, all the difference in the world, as Durham's done an excellent job at forcing turnovers and making the Huskies pay up the other end of the court.
Yeah, it's going to be key. The Lords with too many turnovers in the first game, too many steals against them. So if the Lords men's team can tighten that up and not give up as many turnovers, then this contest is going to be not an easy win, but a convincing win, because none of these games are easy, especially when you have 2 teams in the top 3 of their conference and in the top 10 of the entire league.
For sure. And scoring troubles for the Huskies, John, not going to be helped out when you go 5 for 16 from the field in that first quarter. A dismal 31.3%. They were 3 for 4 from the line, but 0 for 3 from beyond the arc, as they've still yet to make a 3-pointer. And you mentioned it earlier, John, and I assume Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors would agree with you. They'll trade 3 points for 2 points all night long, as will the Lords, and that's pretty much what they've done to get themselves out to such a big lead here early.
It's a 16-point lead about halfway through the second quarter, as Halliburton called for the screen, puts up a 3, and he drains it. Man, the Lords are on fire from distance tonight. They are doing their best to channel those Golden State Warriors.
Doing his best Steph Curry impression is Brendan Halliburton tonight, as he's just been on fire all over
Nice
the court.
Rebound there by Huggins as Lawson goes to move it up court. There's another miss by the George Brown Huskies, and Tyler Henry getting inside with the layup. It's 40-19. It is a 19-point advantage as Lawson comes back and fouls Adam Costanzo. I'm going to have to fight myself from saying Costanza.
It's good. Yeah, it's too bad that Lawson took the foul there, John, because I was just about to say what a nice play it was on the pass, getting it to Tyler Henry. He split the lane, got past the defender, and found Henry wide open underneath the basket. I guess you don't want to fault Lawson too much coming back defensively and trying to make a play on the ball. Unfortunately, got more wrist than ball, as the Huskies are going to shoot 2 here, as the Lords are up 21 before this free throw attempt.
Yeah, and DeMeggi with 2 points in the first quarter. It's a 20-point advantage here for the Lords, and DeMeggi only has 2 points, man. If he can get it going, this is going to be a scary game for George Brown. who are quickly realizing that they're being outplayed.
Yeah, for sure. The Lords have definitely outplayed them on both sides of the court so far through a quarter and a half. But when you have a team as good as the Huskies who are capable of winning games, we know they are. They were so good last season. They have the experience underneath their belt. Durham cannot take their foot off the pedal here. They have to keep going, even though they're up by 20.
Petronas moving inside, gets it in. A block there by DeMeggi. Beautiful block by DeMeggi. And it's going out, it went out of bounds. It's Lord's ball. Tyler Henry set to inbound to Trey Lawson. Instead goes to Halliburton as the defender, Chris Fields, was up tight on Lawson. Halliburton calling a play for Huggins. Huggins moves around. Screen there set by DeMeggi. Gets it to DeMeggi. DeMeggi looks to move inside. Strong move. And finally a foul called and a technical, it seems. Maybe not. I don't know my calls that well.
Like a technical.
He was making a T sign.
I'm not quite sure what the call was there, John, but the Lords will definitely take it as Funcho's going to shoot two. And some foul trouble here again are the Huskies, as they've already taken three with 5:33 left in this quarter.
That was definitely a technical. It was one shot.
Huh. Then he got the technical. I'm not quite sure why. But it's good to know our eyes still work from all the way up here in the Caperness Media Gondola, John, where we saw the tee and we thought it was a technical. So good job, us.
Huggins there with the inbound, weak inbound. Looked to get to Halliburton. Halliburton looked to make some defensive move, but he couldn't get in there. And smartly, he ducks out of the way and just lets that one go in, as opposed to taking the foul and making it a three-point play.
It's really the first mistake the Lords have made all night long, was that inbound pass by Huggins.
Moving screen there called on Tyler Henry as another turnover. Just as you said, it was the only mistake. There's mistake number 2.
Coming into this game, John, we mentioned it before, Durham comes in with 12 points, George Brown with 14 on the season. Seneca leads the entire OCAA Men's East Division with 14 points and a 7-0 record. They're ahead of George Brown based on games played and the fact that they beat them on Friday. The Lords going to have an opportunity to tie both Seneca and George Brown with a win here tonight and find themselves tied for first in the OCAA Men's East standings.
As Lawson with another deep 3-ball, man. Wow, oh wow is right. He is shooting the lights out tonight, man. Lawson extends the lead to 21 as George Brown looks to get back in this one. A 2-ball there. DeMeggi not happy that the offensive foul wasn't called. And George Brown's Chris Fields with the 3.
I think that was just a 2, Johnny.
Oh, it was a 2. My apologies. Thank you for picking me up there. Halliburton moves it up court. This is for 3 and just misses it. The rebound secured there by George Brown as they look to move it up court. It's DJ James. And another foul called there. And if that was not against the Huskies, DeMeggi is not going to be happy.
DeMeggi pulled over there looking for a call.
It's the second time DeMeggi, one of the biggest men, if not the biggest man on our team, it's the second time in 3 plays he's ended up on his butt on the court. And he is a hard man to put down. So I'm not understanding how those aren't fouls against the Huskies.
Yeah, for sure. DeMeggi at 6'5", the biggest man, tied with Hickson Jr., his other starting forward. But looking at the Huskies, John, they've got some height themselves. Thomas Kusick, 6'7", Jeremy Adoti, 6'6", Bahango and Samuel at 6'7" as well, 6'6", Matthew Bokovic. There's a lot of height on this George Brown Huskies team, and we haven't really seen that as the Lords have dominated in the paint, as the height advantage for the Huskies really not coming in to play so far through this game.
Hickson Jr. moves it up court, gets it over to Lawson, and it seems DeMeggi has got his hands full there with Justin Bangu. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he handles that, because DeMeggi can be a fiery individual, and we seen last game with Brody how that fire can be a detriment to your team. But so we don't want to see him get too involved in that department here. as the Huskies move it in, and Demeji with the nice rebound there, getting his game going. Halliburton moves it up court. The Lords look to slow down this game a little bit. Halliburton's calling a play. Demeji getting bodied hard there by Bangu. Gets it outside to Demeji, who shoots a three and drains it, Joey. Funcho Demeji with the three ball.
And just as I said earlier in the first quarter, Funcho was not going to take a three probably all season long. He makes me eat my words there and comes away with that one. And a very nice looking shot from Funcho.
Yeah, that was nothing but net, man.
That was beautiful as Demeji gets that one to fall. The Lords just finding ways to put up points from the most unlikely of places. But I guess you really shouldn't be surprised. On this Lords team, John, 3 players at over 120 points on the season. Those 3 players, Brandon Halliburton, Funcho Demeji, and DeAndre Huggins, all at north of 125 points on the season. And the fact that Demeji can jack a 3 just adds to his impressive caliber of play.
Shot clock down here to the Huskies. They got to put it up, and no good there. And it seems out of bounds on the Lords.
Sorry, John, that was, I just want to say that was only Demeji's second three-pointer of the season. He's now 50% from beyond the arc, 1 for 2.
Keep putting them up, big man, keep putting them up.
Why not?
As George Brown moves it inside and gets another 2 from Adam Constanzo. And those of you footy fans out there, it's the end of the first half in the Toronto FC Columbus game, and it is 0-0. Toronto FC without their 2 top scorers, Javinko and Altidore. Javinko getting suspended for 1 game due to yellow cards, and Altidore suspended 1 game for violent conduct in the tunnel and given a red card in the last game against New York, the New York Red Bulls. A call that I don't quite agree with, Joey, but it'll be interesting to see if Toronto can come out here with a victory without their 2 top stars.
For sure. Well, they went in. Where are they playing tonight, Johnny? Chicago?
They're playing in Columbus.
Columbus. They went into Columbus. I heard it on the radio just earlier today that they went into Columbus and beat them 4-0 without Jervanko and without Altidore in the regular season. Now, that's obviously a much more difficult task in the playoffs, but with the aggregate in soccer and the way road goals work and home goals and just how important they are, going into this first half 0-0, not a bad start for the FC, but you know they'd like to try and find a way to get one on the road as they look to go back to an MLS Cup final for the 2nd year in a row after losing last year to Seattle.
An ugly, ugly game.
And how do I remember
Seattle
in the final? I have no idea, but I guarantee you it's right.
Seattle didn't have a shot on target that entire game and won it.
Penalties, right?
Yeah. No shots on goal and you win the MLS Cup. That's so gross.
Yeah, that's tough.
Halliburton moves the ball up court, guarded by Petronas, whose last name sounds like a Harry Potter spell.
You go Harry Potter, I go sounds like a drink I want.
Yeah, I guess. Huggins with the move inside as he's guarded well and unable to get it. And Shamari Maloney with the offensive rebound, but it's going to be called a foul and George Brown ball. And Adam Constanzo, I'm just going to start calling this guy Seinfeld, with the inbound to Petronas. We got Seinfeld, we got Harry Potter. I'll have nicknames for all these guys by the end of the night. As Justin Bangu bangs one down from distance.
Yeah, I thought that was a 3, John, but only 2 up on the board as they still, the Huskies that is, unable to make a 3 all night long.
Halliburton moves the ball, guarded by Petronas. Calls for a screen from Demeji, then moves him back inside. Nice spin move there, gets it outside to Tyler Henry, who puts up the 3, no good. Demeji tips, gets the offensive board, moves inside, no, and Henry with the rebound and the ball off glass for a 2-pointer. It's 48-30, 18-point advantage. Last minute of the first half. Petronas moves the ball around. Bangu gets it over to DJ James. James gets it inside to Bangu, who's guarded by Demeji. looks to move Demeji's guard, but Demeji stands tall, and the ball goes off front rim and out. Maloney gets it over to Demeji, looks to make a strong move inside, and he does, unable to get the ball up, and no foul called again for Demeji, as he must be frustrated in this one. Petronas underneath the net, Huggins with the foul, and it's the and one for Petronas as he'll go to the line to try and make this a three-point play, Joey.
Yeah, Funcho not going to be happy, but I think it was a good call by the officials, John. It was tough to see from up here, but it didn't look like they made any contact with Funcho going up. It was just two big bodies there. As a solid defense by the Huskies. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for the Lords, and Huggins coming back down the other way, as he definitely got a piece of Petronas when he went up for that shot. And Huggins going to come off now after that foul. Interesting though, John, looking at it, as I was watching Tyler Henry and just how well he's been playing coming off the bench. The highest bench scoring player for the Huskies all season long is Tyler Henry, and he's been impressive here tonight. 55 points coming into this game. The only guy not a starter inside the top 5 of scoring. He's actually ahead of Trey Lawson on the year.
Halliburton with the head fake, looks to get the ball back with the turnover, but Lawson breaks back. Strong defense, and great job there making the Huskies make a tougher shot than needed. Lawson puts the ball up, air ball. Had a little bit more time to take that shot, Joey, but we'll take the 15-point lead going into the half. It's 48-33 for the Durham Lords. And what'd you like about that first half, Joey?
Well, I just love the shooting from the Lords, John. It's pretty obvious, but when you're making 3 after 3 after 3 and converting on all your possessions going up and down the court, there's a lot to like and a lot of fun to watch. When this Lords team's on effective and playing well, they play hard defensively and shoot the lights out. And the fact, led by Brandon Halliburton and DeAndre Huggins in that first half, John, their shooting was just so impressive, and it really helped them get out to this 15-point lead.
Yeah, when you got three-pointers being made by your big man Demeji, and that means everybody's shooting lights out from 3. But we'll be back for the second half in just under 14 minutes. It's 48-33 for the Durham Lords. We'll talk to you then. Welcome back to the CRWC. We are getting set for the second half of this contest. And Joey, we got the numbers from the first half. And just a look here, we got Brandon Halliburton shooting perfect, getting 15 points, 5 for 5 from the field and 3 for 3 from three-point range. And Trey Lawson with 13 points, 3 for 6 and 4 for 8 from the field. But I was just saying the number that jumps out at me the most is Funcho DeMeggi, only 2 for 10 for a measly 5 points. And the big man a little bit upset at the end of this first half. But let's hope that he can, cooler heads can prevail. Funcho puts up another 3-ball and drains it, Joey. That's 2 tonight.
Funcho DeMeggi making me look silly. And I'll never doubt him again. As I said in the first half, he wouldn't make a 3 almost all season long. He's 2 for 2 from beyond the arc tonight. And that one was a pretty way to start this second half.
As Petronas does get his own rebound and rails it off the feet of Tyler Henry out of bounds. I don't know what you were going to do about that one, Tyler. You can shake your head all you want, but there's no way to save that ball unless you're really great at hacky and you kick it up to yourself. As the Lords, Funcho DeMeggi tried to save that one inbounds, unable to, and it will be once again out of bounds on the Lords. As George Brown looks to inbound the ball, it's Adam Costanzo who inbounds to Tayshawn Gale, gets it inside to Costanzo, shot clock down, no good. Costanzo again with the offensive rebound and Henry with the foul, and Costanzo will go to the line to shoot 2. Yeah, man, if you were to tell me that Funcho DeMeggi would have had 5 points at half, but would be 2 for 2 from three-point range 2 minutes into the third quarter, I'd probably laugh at you.
Yeah, there's no way I would have believed that stat line coming into the game. I easily could have seen Funcho with only 5 points. He's a guy who does most of his work from down low at the free throw line and doing things inside the paint, but stepping out of his shell a little bit here tonight. 2 threes back-to-back from him. And the Lords continue to lead this game now at 51, John, but they cannot step off the gas. This is a very, very good George Brown team. 7 wins on the season, just the 1 loss. And if this Lords team thinks they have this game over, they don't. We saw that in the first game of tonight's doubleheader, John, what the women's team is playing. The women's Huskies team was up big on the Lords women's team, but they found a way to relax a little bit, and Durham found a way to take the lead midway through that fourth quarter before the Huskies finally step back on the gas. Durham does not want to see a repeat of that from the opposite end. They can and will not let the Huskies back into this game, John, or they're risking big trouble, as this Husky team is a very good one.
As DeMeggi is handling the ball a lot more in this one, and you know, him making those 2 3-pointers, you know what that's going to do is they're going to have to stop, they're going to have to start coming out and guarding him on the outside beyond the arc there, and it's going to give him a lot more options to drive inside back to his home and get those points inside the paint. And just as I speak there, the Lords with a shot clock violation, turnover. Petronas moves the ball up the court. He's got Huggins on him. He moves inside on Huggins, passes it back outside to Bangu. Bangu looking to make a move inside, back to Petronas, back to Bangu. Looking, puts up the 2 and gets it, as I think maybe Huggins is a little bit too small to be guarding Bangu, as that was Funcho's job for the first half. And maybe that's the adjustment the coach made in the halftime, is to take Funcho off of Bangu. As Funcho now guards, gets it over, and was that a 3? Yes, it was a 3-ball there, as we have a quick timeout called by Coach Desmond Rowley, and he wants to talk to his boys. He wants to get their heads straight, as the George Brown Huskies have come out in this one, and it's a 10-point contest early. George Brown with a strong push, just as you had finished saying, the Lords need to remain with that foot on the gas pedal. If not, this team is very well good enough to come back and even take a lead.
Yeah, for sure, John. 10 points is not a lot in basketball. That's a couple trips up the floor, maybe a 3-pointer and a couple fouls, just like that. The Huskies can find themselves right back into this game. We saw Funcho open up with that 3-pointer to start the quarter, John. We saw him at the end of the halftime talking to Anthony Batchelor, the all-time leading scorer for the Lords. third all-time in OCAA career scoring, finishing with 1,833 points to end his OCAA career. When he retired from the OCAA, he was first, and that's good enough to get your number retired here at the CRWC. The newest banner in the building, Anthony Batchelor. Maybe he was giving Funcho some three-point tips.
I think it may have more or less been calming him down a little bit, as like we said to open the broadcast there, or open the second half. Funcho was a little bit heated going into halftime, and you know, maybe he was just saying, you know, big man, I get you. I was you. You know, just calm down, play your game, and the game will come to you. As Lawson moves the ball up court, as Durham looks to stretch this lead once again. It's 10 points. He gets it over to Halliburton. Halliburton head fake move, dribble, steps back, gets it inside to Demeji, moves in, loses the ball, goes up, puts it up. No call again, Joey, for Demeji, and that's going to be frustrating for the big man as Julian Hinkson Jr. with a huge block. They're going to call the foul, but I'll take that one any day of the week.
Yeah, definitely some contact there, but Hinkson Jr. doing a heck of a job to get back and go up defensively at 6'5". Hinkson Jr. doesn't necessarily need to be as physical to get in the way, but not at all holding up there as he bowled over Gale for the Huskies. But a big block, and Hinkson Jr. picks up the first foul, or the second foul, excuse me, for the Lords in this half.
Gale makes the first of two shots, about to take his second here. As the Lords crowd's making some noise, trying to get in his head a little bit. Unsuccessful though, as Gale makes both from the free throw line. And Lawson moves the ball back up court. It is an 8-point game, 51-43 for the Lords. Lawson's looking around, and I'm unsure of the call here. And it'll be on the George Brown Huskies, whatever that call was.
Yeah, not quite sure there, John, but the Lords will take it, and a big possession for them here. All of a sudden, they find themselves only up by 8. As the Huskies have found their way back into this game here early in the second half.
Over to Lawson. Lawson looking around, calls for the screen from Hinkson Jr. Over to Huggins for three. Huggins from the bottom of the well gets that one to go. And DeAndre Huggins, he needs to step up and he needs to drain some more of those three balls, Joey.
For sure, that was a nice shot by Huggins, but an even better pass by Lawson to get it to him.
Petronas with the shot and miss, but it was DJ James with the offensive rebound and puts it off glass and in. Once again, 2s for 3s. We'll take that any day of the week. As Lawson looks around, finds Halliburton, 9 seconds on the clock. Halliburton with a move, comes inside, pulls up for a 2, and drains it.
Still perfect.
Halliburton is shooting the lights out tonight, Joey, and he is on fire. Get that ball in his hands as much as possible. As Bangu looks up top to Adam Costanzo for the long 2-ball front rim out. Costanzo again moves inside, gets it over to DJ James, who tries a 3 himself, trying to do his best Funcho Demeji impersonation. Unsuccessful, though, as Halliburton moves up court, back into Demeji's hands to Huggins. Huggins with the deep 3, and it was wide off the back rim as DJ James moves it inside and gets it over to Adam Costanzo, who puts it off glass and in. It's a 9-point game, 56-47 for Durham. Durham needs to tighten up defensively here, I'd say, Joey.
Yeah, they got to tighten up defensively, and they got to get points on their possession, Sean. They had the 3 from Huggins, their second last attempt, but they've been kind of spotty with their offense in this third quarter. As a foul is going to be called here, I believe, against the Lords, as a Husky player hit the court.
It's a hard foul either way. Oh. No, that's a foul on George Brown.
Eric lets us know what's good from down there at the scorer's table. And the Lords certainly going to take that call.
And it looks like it's going to be a technical free throw here. I'm going to need to buff up on my OCAA rules and regulations and find out Nope, not a technical free throw. He's shooting 2, so that makes a little bit more sense.
We'll take it, John, and all of a sudden both teams 3 fouls here with just over 5 minutes remaining in this quarter. Easily can find themselves in foul trouble, something the Lords have done so well all night long and not finding themselves in foul trouble. The Huskies did hit the bonus, or found themselves giving up the bonus in the first quarter, but did not in the second.
As the Lords get 2 free throws and possession, that
bad.
must have been a flagrant 1. I don't know what that's called in OCAA, but that is what happens in the NBA when you have 2 shots and possession. It's a flagrant.
Huggins going to shoot 2 here as the Huskies pick up their 4th. John, it's just good work there by Dondre Huggins below the rim, fighting for that ball. A spot we don't often see Huggins, as he likes to shoot from distance and range, but a good work down low for him, and he draws a foul.
Yeah, I find he struggles a little bit from the free throw line because he's so used to shooting from distance that his free throw shots are a little bit long sometimes. So we've seen that, and once again, that it rears its ugly head on the first shot. He normally corrects it on the second shot, but it's hard to do when you're not used to shooting from inside 10 or 15 feet. It's a difficult thing to do.
Yeah, coming into the season, Huggins was 19 from 26 from the line at 73%, a number that could be much higher for someone as talented of a shooter as Huggins.
As DJ James gets one from distance, and it's an 8-point contest. Halliburton moving the ball up court. The Lords are going to look to take a stranglehold on this one again. DeMeggi looks for 3, makes a move, gets it inside, and finally the big man gets his points on the inside, and that's exactly what I had said earlier. Those 3-pointers made are opening up the defense and giving him a lane to drive the ball inside, Joey.
Yeah, he's got him thinking about it now. Wow.
Oh, DJ James with the deep 3 ball back-to-back for the big man. And it is a 7-point contest. It's 60-53 for the Lords. We're just under halfway, or just over halfway through the third quarter. DeMeggi looks to make a move inside again and tries for the mid-range jump shot. Too strong, bounces out. DJ James again for 3. This time no good. Bangu with the rebound, gets it back over to DJ James. James to Bangu inside. And Chris Fields with the 2, and this is the run that the Lords feared. It's a 5-point game, Joey. The Lords need points on this possession as Lawson is looking for his offense to set up. Gets it to Huggins. Huggins moves inside again and gets up for the 2. It's back to 7. The Lords could use a stop here. Just as I say that, Hinkson Jr. with the huge block. Bangu moves in, and another block there by the Lords. Funshow wide open. Ooh, too flashy there. Was going to go for the slam, seen the defense, tried to do a fancy finger roll, unable to complete it. As Fields looks for the 3, inside rebound there for Costanzo, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. I think Funshow would have been best served to just lay that one up and in, Joey.
Yeah, for sure, John. I think you had it right. He was looking for the dunk, but then saw Costanzo right there and decided mid-air he was going to reverse and try and do something else. Funshow going to be kicking himself after that one. He's going to come out of the game and think about it for a minute. On the other end of the court, it was Hickson Jr. who picked up the foul here, John, as both teams are now at 4 with 3 minutes left in this third quarter. A tough play underneath the basket. Hickson Jr. not happy with the call at all. Is still talking to the official a little bit about it. But Funshow DeMeggi misses an easy 2, and that's just something he can't do against this Huskies team, John. But we've seen all season long, so good, has the ability to capitalize on your mistakes, and that was definitely won by the big man from the Lords.
Well, if you got to foul someone, you foul a 50% shooter from the line. Bangu not doing the greatest, and he just did the exact same as he's been averaging this year. Misses the first, makes the second. Lawson moves this ball back up court, gets it into the hands of Huggins. Huggins over to Halliburton, makes a move on his man. Halliburton puts it up, and that is the first miss for Brandon Halliburton. And we are 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the third quarter. I think I'll take that if you haven't missed since for that long. As Lawson moves it back up court. Lords looking to come away with points on this one. Henry with the screen for Lawson, who moves inside, tries to get it over to Hinkson Jr., but it was taken away by Chris Fields. Lords looking to get a defensive stop here and unable to do so as Adam Costanzo puts it up. It's a 4-point game, Joey.
We got ourselves a ball game, Johnny.
Yeah, this is exactly what you had mentioned earlier, Joey. This is a team that you just can't let them back in the game. Tyler Henry with the ball, gets it back to Halliburton with a neat spin move, pulls it up, but his feet weren't set, and it was a difficult shot to make there. Looking to make this a one-possession game are George Brown, gets it up top to Jordan James, no good, and Hinkson Jr. with the rebound. It's time for the Lords to slow this contest down, take a breath, and take a good shot, Joey.
Yeah, I would not be at all surprised to see a timeout shortly from head coach Rowley, as everything's just kind of gotten away from the Lords in this third quarter. A 15-point lead coming into it. That lead's now down to 4.
Tyler Henry moves inside, fouled on the attempt, and will he shoot?
Oh yeah, he's going to shoot.
He's going to shoot 2 here. I didn't know if they were going to call that on a shot or if they were going to call it on the floor there.
And just like that, the Huskies find themselves, or the Lords find themselves in the bonus.
The Lords are in the bonus, the Huskies are in the penalty.
Yeah, the penalty, that's the word. I couldn't think of it earlier. I know I bubbled it up. It's $1:26 left in this quarter, John. Lots of time for the Lords to get to the line and get some easy points here, as they really haven't done a lot of that in this quarter. And their shooting's kind of dried up. They haven't been as strong defensively, and that is not a recipe for success, as they've watched their lead dwindle down here.
Petronas with the up fake at the 3-point line, and it'll be out of bounds on the Lords. As the Huskies set to inbound here. Yeah, the Lords need to do, or the men's team needs to do what the women's team failed to do, and that's move the ball inside when you're in the bonus here so that you can get to the line and maximize this big mistake here made by the George Brown Huskies, as Petronas from distance puts it up and in. We've got a 3-point contest here, Joey. This is the closest it's been in quite some time, as the closest it's been at all, really, seeing as the Lords open the game with 3 3-pointers. Lawson looks to move inside, gets it to Tyler Henry. Henry out to DeMeggi. DeMeggi waits for the play to set up.
4 seconds.
3 seconds. DeMeggi from distance again. Had no choice but to put that one up. It was a low percentage shot. Hinkson Jr., though, puts it up, and unable to get that one as well. George Brown looks to move within 1 here, and they do. It's 64-63. The Durham Lords are only up by 1 in this one. Halliburton moving up court, pulls up for 2, and it's no good. Gets it back out. Final possession here of the quarter. The Lords need to hold on to this one. No, it won't be the final possession. My mistake, as George Brown is going to take their first lead in this one, Joey, 65-64, and it's going to be a timeout on for Durham. Man, oh man, oh wow. Man, what a third quarter here, as the George Brown Huskies have shown why they are where they are in the standings. It's 65-64, a 1-point advantage, and Durham is definitely kicking themselves in the butt. That wasn't a timeout. That was just a substitution, as Halliburton moves it up court. 3 seconds left, gets it up, doesn't get it in, and how that wasn't a loose ball foul on the George Brown Huskies, I do not know, and I think that's exactly what Funcho DeMeggi is walking over to the referee to have a conversation about. 1-point disadvantage. It's 65-64 for the Huskies, and after having a 15-point lead coming into this quarter, that's not a good look on the Lords, as they get blown out in the third quarter, Joey.
Yeah, Johnny, coming into the after halftime, the score was 45-33 in favor of the Lords. After that quarter, a 32-point quarter for the Huskies, almost matching their entire game score coming into it. They find themselves up by 1 as all of a sudden the Lords just kind of dried up. We saw Halliburton miss 3 shots to end the quarter. Defensively, they've been a little lax. I was unsurprised really to see Petronas make his first 3 of the game. The leading point scorer all season long for the Huskies has been quiet all night, no longer after a good quarter from him. Really, it's a tale of 2 coaching staffs again, John. I talked about that after the end of the first quarter, just how happy the Lords coaching staff seemed and how everybody looked to be on the same page. Now the Lords in a tight huddle trying to figure out what went wrong defensively. And for the Huskies, they found some momentum, they found their scoring touch, they found their defensive game. Up by 1, it's going to be a real tall task for the Lords to come back in this game. They did pretty good getting points in that third quarter, John. If my math's correct, they had 16. It's not terrible in the quarter, but
when you give up double that,
yeah,
that's
when
your
you
problem.
Give up 32, getting outscored 2-1 in the quarter, and the Lords find themselves down by 1 here is some of the frustration that can be masked when winning. Be careful to see if that boils over now that the Lords are trailing by 1.
Yeah, man, it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen here as Durham down 1 and George Brown moves the ball around. They're going to have to get Funcho more into this game and less from the perimeter and more from the inside as Petronas puts it up and in for a 3-point advantage there for the George Brown Huskies. Momentum is going to be the killer for the Lords here if they can't stem the tide and stop the George Brown Huskies on their possession. They need some turnovers here. They need to play stronger D as Halliburton looks to make his move inside, pulls up for 2. Oh, rim and out.
For Halliburton.
Halliburton is on a little bit of a cold run now as George Brown looks to go inside, and Hinkson Jr. with the foul, not giving up the easy points, making them earn it from the line.
You know, John, I was thinking about it. It might have been the worst thing to happen for Funjo to make those 2 threes, almost because now he thinks he can do it. Now that's what he wants. He looks like he's pretty content to pull up and shoot a 3-pointer. We've seen 3 threes from him tonight. We only saw 1 in all season long in 7 games coming into this game, so it's definitely uncharacteristic of Demeji. And he makes those 2 threes. He thinks he can do it instead of going to the basket and playing in the paint and being the dominating 6'5" forward that he can be. Instead, he's shooting from the perimeter, and I really just don't think that's where his game is most effective. And the Lords have slipped offensively because of it.
Yeah, most definitely. They do need to get Demeji involved inside the paint and less on the perimeter. The Lords hopefully can do what George Brown did in the first game and get their foot back on the gas pedal, get the lead back in this one. As Demeji looks to make a move, loses the ball a bunch, gets it up. Again, no call. And he is not happy with those referees as Petronas has the ball, pulls up for 3, front rim and out, no good. Lawson with the rebound. Lawson waiting for his men to get back up court. Demeji with the screen. Lawson moves inside but loses the handle of the ball. And I don't know what Huggins was doing there, Joey, but he decided not to play defense at all and just ran back lazily up the court. They can't have that. They can't have that at all. As we have a foul here on George Brown. Huggins set to inbound the ball. 17 seconds on the clock.
All of a sudden the deficit is 6, John, as they keep missing shots and not being able to answer back to this Huskies offense.
Halliburton is ice cold now after being perfect on the game. He's missed 5 shots in a row. And DJ James from distance. It is a 9-point game for the George Brown Huskies. Oh my goodness, what is happening to the Durham Lords?
Body language is so interesting to watch when you're taking in a sporting event, John. And if you were looking at the 2 benches in the first half, George Brown quiet, sitting down, not really into this game, down big. The Lords loud, obnoxious, feeling good, and somehow the script flipped in that third quarter. And if you look at it, the bench is now the Lords dejected. Their coaching staff is showing frustration. For the Huskies, they're all high-fiving and hugs. It's a bit of a love-in on the visiting sideline, Johnny, because of how well they've played in this second half, really all second half long. I can't do the quick math right now, I will, but they've outscored the Lords by a wide margin here, and it really hasn't been close.
Yeah, it's since the second half, they've outscored them by at least 20 points. That's not sustainable, or not sustainable to get a win out of anyway. As I look now, we've got Hinkson Jr. being worked on by head trainer Saul. Hopefully he'll be able to come back into this game. Hopefully it's just a cramp or a light sprain. It looks like they're working on his ankle. That'll be he is a key player for the Lords, and hopefully he's able to return to this contest. As DeMeggi walking over, he wants a conversation, I think, with the referee. And he's having one right now as he's set to inbound the ball for the Lords.
Yeah, John, I just did the math. The Lords have been outscored 40-16 since halftime.
24 points. That's crazy. As the Lords move it, Trey Lawson moves it around, gets a screen set from DeMeggi. No good, though. Gets it over to Tyler Henry for three. Also no good. Not one of their primary three-point shooters. Maybe he should have taken a couple steps in as he was completely unguarded. DJ James, air ball. No good. Durham ball. The Lords need to take advantage of some of these turnovers by the George Brown Huskies, as it's a 9-point advantage for the Huskies. And Halliburton moves it up court, looking over to Lawson. Lawson gets the ball. Offensive foul on Fun Show, DeMeggi. And man, oh man, things just keep getting worse and worse for the Durham Lords, as a key turnover there when they were looking to finally get some points and get some momentum back.
Yeah, that's a tough one to take offensively. The frustration growing for the Lords as they continue to struggle to put the ball in the basket here in this second half, John. And the Huskies having none of the similar problems, where they've just really been such a different team in this second half. They're moving the ball quick, they're playing strong defensively, they're making the shots, and they're forcing Durham to make bad ones and to take bad ones, which really was not the case at all in the first half.
No, not at all. As the Huskies move this ball around, get it to Petronas at the top of the arc. He gets it over to Chris Fields. Fields puts it up, it's no good. Nice block there by Durham, but the George Brown Huskies get it back to DJ James. Long three ball, no good. Man, I'll take that guy shooting threes all day if that's what he's going to do. As Lawson moves the ball up court. We got just under 7 minutes left to play as DeMeggi has the ball in his hands. Looks to make his move inside. Every time DeMeggi moves inside, he's got three guys on him, as Tyler Henry is the guy left wide open. He gets the easy two, and that's the shot I want Henry shooting, not from beyond the arc.
For sure, and that was just a nice play by DeMeggi to set him up for it. The ball movement for the Lords has been lacking. Let's see if that can spark something.
Chris Fields with the three. Was that a three? No, that was a two ball. And Chris Fields with the block, or with the, with the block out of bounds. It'll be Lord's ball side out in the offensive front court as Lawson sets to inbound it. No one paying attention, though, as Halliburton is there. They get it into the hands of the big man, Fancho DeMeggi. He makes his move, but loses the ball and throws it right into the arms of Chris Fields. He gets it inside, and Lawson gets the ball back, gets it over to Halliburton. Halliburton makes a move inside. A poor shot choice there, and he's out of bounds. It'll be George Brown ball there. I think that Lawson, for some reason, didn't want to give it to DeMeggi. I don't know why.
And a little slow getting up there was Halliburton. Hopefully he's just a little dejected with himself after the play and not injured, as the Lords can scarcely afford to lose their #1 point guard.
No, not at all, as it is a 9-point contest still, as Durham is looking to get back into this one. George Brown moves the ball up court. DJ James with the ball. Adam Costanzo moves inside, and gets the foul called. It's Durham's third of the quarter. They're going to get themselves in foul trouble, and they need to watch out because we still got 6 minutes to play in this fourth quarter, Joey.
Yeah, they found themselves in all sorts of trouble here, John. Foul trouble, defensive trouble, offensive trouble. Really, every aspect of the game they've struggled in this second half, and it's really disappointing to see. They had a big lead coming into the third quarter. They had
fourth quarter, or into the third quarter. My apologies.
I got you, Johnny. They were up by 15. They had held this high-scoring George Brown Huskies team to 33 at the half, and now all of a sudden they're at 75, and we're not even halfway through the fourth quarter. So just a defensive lapse by this Huskies team, and they did exactly what I said they couldn't do, John. They took their foot off the gas, and the Huskies have made them pay.
Yeah, as the Lords move it around.
Oh, no.
Fun show again with the 3-ball, and man, that's 2 for 4 tonight. Funcho DeMeggi, 4 3-pointers. Definitely not his game. He needs to get his head straight here and drive inside the paint and use that big body like he has been all year. Nice block there by Trey Lawson. Gets it in front for DeAndre Huggins. It's a high bounce though. Difficult shot. Doesn't get the roll as it bounces out, and Petronas is moving it back up court. The Lords are not taking advantage of the opportunities given to them. Petronas with the 3, no good. Big block there. And we have another foul called as Bangu, either Bangu or Costanzo is going to head to the line. It looks like it'll be Costanzo.
Yeah, good call there, Johnny. It is Costanzo, and at 6'5", he's just been a beast underneath the rim in this second half. We don't have him in front of us, but I guarantee you the rebounding stats is well in the favor of the Huskies in the second half, as the Lords have struggled to get the ball underneath the offensive and defensive rim while picking up fouls and not being able to score. And that finds yourself in a very precarious situation against a very good basketball team. And just like that, the Huskies have extended this lead. It's now 13, John. Somehow the Huskies have oh, excuse me.
It is 9 still.
It's 9. From my angle, it looked like 79 on the scoreboard from here, so okay. That's a little better. Only 9, but with 5 minutes left, the Lords fighting an uphill battle here. And Costanzo has been really good all game long. I've been really impressed with his boarding in this second half.
Yeah, he's less than impressive at the line, though. And, I mean, if you're going to foul someone, then you got to foul those guys. Unfortunately, though, it puts them in trouble as they have 4 fouls and still 5 minutes to play in this game. Lawson looks for the 3. It's way too strong. And George Brown rebounds again, gets it up court to Petronas. Petronas, guarded by Lawson, gets it out to Chris Fields. Fields over to Bangu, who looked like he was going to take a 3. And that'd be laughable as Bangu moves inside, rims around and out. And the Lords get the rebound as Halliburton moves up court over to Huggins, wide open for 3, and in and out, as it seems the Lords have gone ice cold in this one, as George Brown moves it up, and Fields unable to make the 2. Henry with the rebound. Henry looking around, not used to being the ball handler, moves it up and tries to do it all himself. Not the way to be here in this game. Lawson, the only man left back to guard, and it's an easy 2 points there for Adam Costanzo, and this one is quickly getting away from the Lords. It's an 11-point lead for the Huskies. They're about to reverse their halftime deficit to be a fourth quarter lead. Yeah. Not a good look.
For sure, John, and that was the difference. That shot by Dondre Huggins went down in the first half for the Lords.
Oh, that was a nice move there by Hinkson Jr. He fakes going up. Both guys jump and fly past him, and he's wide open for the basket.
Yeah, Hinkson Jr. was getting some work done on the bench, but he's come back into this game, and he's been quiet because he's been hurt in the second half, and the Lords could really use him down low as they struggle down low in the paint. And that really continues here in this fourth quarter.
As Lawson looks up court, looking over to Hinkson Jr. for the screen, sets the screen for him, gets it back inside to the big man, who looks up and in for the and one. Hinkson Jr. trying to make this a 3-point play. and get the Lords back in this one, Joey.
That's huge there from Hickson Jr. That's what he does best. When him and Funcho are on the court together and playing big down low, they're almost uncontainable. 2 6'5" bodies, big, strong, like to look for contact, and they have kind of gotten away from that. Not kind of, they have gotten away from that here in this game. Funcho's shooting threes. Hickson Jr. is a little banged up, and they've gotten away from their bread and butter. Let the point guard shoot from far. Let DeAndre Huggins shoot. The big men need to stay in the paint and get the hard work done. I know it's not easy, it's not glamorous, it's not fun. You're eligible to catch an elbow or two, but those valuable points and those valuable boards are what the Lords are missing here as they trail by 8.
They need to get some stops here if they're going to get back in this contest.
Sure.
They can't be giving up points on every possession as Bangu looks to make the long two in and out. Offensive rebound, though, given up to the George Brown Huskies as they put it up and in. And it's again a 10-point game as Halliburton finally makes one, and he gets it back to an 8-point game. A nice little layup there as George Brown moves it back around. It's Jordan James with the ball, gets it over to DJ James. We got a James to James connection again. And a travel there by George Brown. And this could be the opening that Durham has been looking for, Joey.
For sure, John. They definitely need this. They need to find a way to get something going offensively and draw a spark. They've been just so slow. The official's going to blow the whistle here. It looks like.
Yeah, he needs to go get cleaned up. He's probably got some blood on him.
Yeah, he does. On his left elbow is Brandon Halliburton. Gets called off by the official. And certainly does not want to leave the court because the coach is going to use a timeout there instead of putting a defensive sub in. And John, Lords, what they need to do with the last 2 minutes and 10 seconds in this game is they need to go down and make their possessions, but also, like you said, they need a stop defensively, as that's just something they haven't been able to do, as they've given up over almost 50 points in this second half. They've given up 48 in under 2 quarters, John, so they haven't been stopping much defensively. That needs to turn around here in this last 2 minutes if they want any chance at salvaging this ball game.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. This possession, I think, is going to be key. I know is going to be key with only 1 foul to give until they're in the penalty and 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in this game, down 8 points. You've got to come away here with at least 2, if not 3, and then continue to get the defensive stops. The Lords are not looking to get that second loss in the, or their second L in the loss column there. So it's going to be key here. Unfortunately, we thought that the Lords were going to have this game locked down, but it seems that we have been taught a lesson here on our first day back to class by more than just our teacher, Anna Rodriguez, or Rodriguez. It's being taught to us by the George Brown Huskies as well.
Yeah, the Huskies have really just shown excellent work. My phone starts ringing. Sorry, Johnny. And it's so difficult to quantify how tough it is to stay on the pedal and really put a team away when you're up by such a big margin. And the Lords, I don't want to say they lack the killer instinct because we've seen them put teams away before, but I don't know if it's as much as good play from George Brown or if it's just missed opportunities from the Lords that's brought this game so close. As I don't think George Brown's played spectacular, but the Huskies have just been so inept, or the Lords, I mean, have been so inept from the field and shooting in this half. It's tough to get yourself back into a ballgame.
There you go, big man. Funcho backing down the defense and getting inside, putting up the 2 to make this a 6-point contest. And the Lords looking for a big defensive stop here as Lawson gets his hand on the ball. Petronas with the offensive rebound here, moving the ball around, trying to kill as much time as possible. Gets it over to Jordan James, who gets it to DJ James, but an offensive foul here, and the Lords are looking to get back in the contest here. They're getting all the breaks possible on this one.
And they need them, John. For the Lords, it's going to be so tough to get these huge stops they need. They're at 4 fouls. They can't give up another one. They don't want to go into the penalty. as the Huskies have 3, and it would not shock me at all to see the Lords go to the basket here and see if they can draw a 4th one from the Huskies.
Huggins with the ball, looking for Lawson, unable to find him, makes a move, goes inside what might have been a travel there, and the Lords with their 5th foul, Julian Hinkson Jr., and the Huskies will shoot 2.
Yeah, that's unfortunate there. Hinkson Jr. just fighting for that ball underneath the rim is going to pick up a foul. As he's limping not badly here. When I say not badly, like you can see it, but it's not the worst limp I've ever seen. But obviously affecting him, as we saw him getting some work on at the trainer's table. He's picked up a couple fouls. All of a sudden the Lords are in the penalty, and that's just going to make this so much more difficult, as the easy points for the Huskies are going to continue to fall, as statistically they're a very good free throw shooting team. All season long they've been good.
Costanzo makes the 2 free throws. And there's a foul called here on the Huskies. It will be their 4th.
As a team, John, coming into this game, they're 63 from the line, 63%, almost 64. I would expect they're going to be very happy if they shoot like that from the line to end this game off, up by 8.
As Lawson moves the ball up court, a little bit more urgency, I think, needed in an 8-point game. He's looking to open up the 3-point shot, gets it blocked by DJ James, who's pushed him further and further back. 6 seconds on the clock. Lawson moves in, puts it up, no good. Rebound Demeji, bodies up, gets the foul called, and he's going to the line. This is going to be key. The Lords need these 2 free throws. It is statistically a very difficult game right now to get back into with so little time left on the clock. We've seen crazier things happen, but it's going to have to be all work and no play for the Durham Lords.
Poncho 66% from the line coming into this game. He makes that first one, John. As the Lords, all they can do is hope they get some quick points here.
As Funcho puts both of those in. And we got a sub here for...
sorry, Johnny, I believe it's going to be a timeout.
Oh, look at that. Huskies do take a timeout as they want to move the ball into the front court.
For the Lords, John, it's really just been how cold they've been shooting the ball. Huggins hasn't been great in the second half. Halliburton, the only misses he has is in the second half. We haven't seen a lot of Trey Lawson, a guy who's 3 for 6 from 3 going into halftime. We haven't... It's just not been the same high-powered, offensively wired team that we're so used to seeing from this men's team, Johnny. And the lack of scoring is really what's been hurting them in this half, because through halftime, they were on pace for 96 points on the day. They easily could have outscored their problems. Even if they kept on their pace, even despite giving up over 50 in the second half, they would have walked away with this game handedly. But the cold streaks from Brandon Halliburton, Trey Lawson, Funcho shooting 3s, it's been a really weird game for the Lords, a really strange second half. It almost looks like they got away from their system. And I'm sure going back and looking at this game, they're really not going to like what they see from the second half.
No, most definitely they're not, Joey. I don't know what I almost just called you there. I almost screwed up your name.
Almost called me Jake?
No, it wasn't Jake. I think I almost called you Jordan for some reason. Anyway, the Lords need to body up here, get tight on defense, and worst case, you need to foul the right guy, right? With only 45 seconds left, George Brown's going to be happy to... do exactly what they just did there.
Got to get the rebound here.
Oh, and a bad inbound attempt there, or save there by Huggins. 30 seconds left. This game is all but over here. Travel call on the Huskies. 29 seconds left and a 6-point game.
Only 2 possessions.
2-possession game, but the Lords are going to have to get some quick 3 balls here. And they haven't been moving very quick this last couple minutes. As Halliburton looked to get the 3-point play and unfortunately unable to do so, he gets inside, will go to the line to shoot 2, and with 23 seconds left, both teams in the bonus.
Yeah, It's a good effort there by Halliburton, drawing the foul, getting himself to the line. He hasn't been to the line much all game long. At the half, he only shot from the line once. He went 2 for 2, but his cold half continues here as Halliburton misses that first one, John.
Clanks it right off the back rim, and that just tells you how it's going for the Lords in the second half, Joey. Ice cold from the field, ice cold from the line. And I don't want to call it out. I don't want to say it, but a little bit of in-house fighting on the way out of the second half, and maybe that caused a little bit of struggles or troubles there with the team play. As Halliburton fouls, sorry, I have to get his name, Chris Fields, and he'll go to the line with 19 seconds left in this one. This is going to ice the game, I think.
Yeah, this is going to be a long 19.5 seconds, John. As the Lords are going to fall here, it looks like, depending on what happens at the line. Fields a pretty good free throw shooter all season long. Steps up and clanks that first one.
Oh, sorry, yawning here. It's been a long day for us at the
oh my God, we had to go back to class today, Johnny.
Yeah.
I was not prepared to deal with everything at school today.
No, really not. As the George Brown Huskies inbound the ball, they're playing keep away, and this game is over, Joey. And this one can rest solely in the hands of the Durham Lords. They gave this one away. They took their foot off the gas pedal, and the Huskies are going to move up in the standings, move to 8-1 on the year. Yeah, 8-1 on the year, and look to move up in the conference and provincial standings.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough loss for the Lords. Not the fact that they lost to a top 5 team in the province, John, but it's more the fact that it's going to give them their second loss of the year. Lambton has 3 losses, so they're 7th with a record of 4-3 on the season. So you would assume the Lords, after falling to the 5th place team, won't fall any further. They'll remain at 6th with a 6-2 record in the province. But certainly not the outcome they were looking for, as they had aspirations to jump into the top 5. When this, at the end of the half, as Funcho not happy with the officials there.
Not at all.
The Lords
fall in this one, 85-78. Man, not a great contest there for Durham. Not a great second half at all for Durham, getting outscored massively. And head coach Desmond Rowley is going to have a message for them in the locker room for sure about better team play and better defensive play. Our next game will be here on Friday, November 24th, so this week against the St. Lawrence Vikings. That will be a doubleheader. We'll have the women's and men's match for you. For Joey Chapman, I'm John Lodge. We'll talk to you then. Have a good night.